right, well, sometimes Sprinkler Dude makes some bonehead mistakes, and today's one of those days. I have to climb into that pond today to clean the suction line. Let me show you why I'm climbing in. So right in front of me is the suction line, and I'm standing on the bank, which is made up of boulders, because again, this is a man-made lake here, a man-made pond. So they put boulders around the pond to create the pond. Well, underneath these boulders is where the suction line goes into the water. And I can't even see the end of it. I can see the end of what I can see, which is right about there, but it goes into the mud, which is probably why this system is not performing the way it should be. So we're gonna climb in there. We're gonna pull that sucker out of the mud, clean it, and attach a duck decoy to it so that it will pull clean water and not mud into the system. Because right now, the fountain thing that you see right here, yeah, that's what this is. This is a fountain. It's part of the irrigation system, and it's one of the zones on the irrigation system. When this zone comes on, it doesn't really do much because the pressure is just crappy. And in addition to that, the sprinkler system's pressure is pretty crappy. So that's how we're gonna fix that. I can't exactly cut this pipe and pull it in like we normally do, so we're going swimming. All right, with a quick change of clothes, now I am, oh wow, this water is super cold. Oh, it's ice cold. I'm actually wearing a heart monitor right now, so I won't be going any deeper than about here, because the heart monitor is right here. You see a screen on the end of this, that's good news. Let's see if we can pull up on this. Good. All right, so we will be able to, well, the good news is that thread's in, so we will be able to clean this, and I'll have to thread that back in when we're done. Okay, well, happy accidents, Bob Ross. But there's the screen it was trying to pull through, which is hilarious. All right, let me get out of the water here. Let me clean this screen up, clean all the parts up, and then I'm gonna pray that I can screw this right. Yeah, it's right here. That will be easy. We can screw that right back on. Awesome. All right, well, like I said, happy accidents. Let's get the cleaning. Here we go. We'll get this cleaned up real fast so we can get it back into the water and fire it back up. I noticed that there wasn't any Teflon tape on any of this when I took it apart. So when I put that check valve back onto that line there, I used some Teflon tape. I'm gonna get up under here and carefully use some Teflon tape on this line right here. Alrighty, without knocking my camera over, let's go ahead and get this puppy back out here. We will be putting a float on this, but I'm gonna wait to do that for when I have this thing completely submerged in water, because I don't want it fighting with me. One quick trick you can do, I'm working with a really short suction line here, but if you're working with a longer one, you want to make sure all the water's getting in there, just push it into the water and it'll open up the valve for you and take all the air out. Now we still got a little bit of air in here, so I'm gonna go back the other way, and that's all the air. So now I can move this thing underwater nice and freely. I'm not gonna be fighting with it. I can line it up right where I need it. Lining this sucker up underwater is a pain in the neck. Wish me luck. Right now, I'm not having very much of it. Definitely not as easy as well, it's as hard as it looks. Reposition myself here and see if I can line this up a little bit better. I just found that if I raised it up, it lined up the pipes nice and easily, and I was able to screw it in. I got it hand tightened, and considering this whole thing is underwater here, I'm just gonna go get a wrench, give it a couple more turns. I got it pretty tight, but I want to put a wrench on it just to be sure. All right, now we're back with a monkey wrench. Pipe wrench, call it what you want. Now, grab onto the fitting. All right, that's as tight as I'm willing to get it. I don't want to break anything because then I'll be digging all this up to get to that fitting. Trying to avoid that if I can help it. All right, wrench is on. Next order of business, we got to get that duck decoy onto the suction line. Alrighty, we got those wires past the screen, so it's not going to slide back up on us. It's floating, it's not in the mud anymore, it's clean. I suspect when we prime and turn on this system, that fountain is going to shoot clear across the whole pond, and I'm going to have to make some adjustments on that valve so that it doesn't. Let me go ahead and prime up the system and I'll show you what it looks like next. All right, well, sometimes Sprinkler Dude makes some bonehead mistakes, and today's one of those days. I installed the check valve backwards. When were one of you gonna tell me I did that wrong? You're sitting there watching the video. All right, we got the system all primed up. I'm running a different zone. We'll shut it down. We're gonna turn on the pond fountain. Let's see what this sucker does now. Well then, I'd say that chute's clear across the pond now. Now all we have to do is edit that valve a little bit, adjust it, because definitely don't need it doing that. So we're gonna adjust the flow control on this valve quite a bit. Bring that down to something a little bit more manageable, like that. And there you go. Now the customer system is working like it should. Let's turn on that rotor zone across the way there and see how that looks. That's front yard. Go ahead and turn that one on. Well, there goes that front yard zone, and it is screaming now. Beautiful. Y'all know what that means, right? On to the next one.